don't know. Maybe maybe there's method to the madness. Lack of. This is just me speculating that maybe just lack of new hams coming in, making it even easier to get on HF. Who knows? Anyway, over to you, Don. KD2FO and the prenet. This is WA2RAS.
Okay, WA2RAS. I'm the prenet crew here. This is KD2FO. Well, very good morning, and I understand there is something to that about there having been some kind of a push for technician class privileges that are not VHF, UHF, whatever. Personal opinion, I'll tell you the philosophy I was brought up on, and my parents telling me, Don, you want to get ahead in this world, you get more education or you get more skills or whatever it takes, because you don't like that money they're paying you at work. Well, you get more qualifications and they will then give you a better job and then give you more money and privileges. That's about my opinion concerning the technician class. If you want to be a technician, it's up to you. There's a lot of usefulness for it, and particularly today's world, of course. And if you want to do something other than that, like HF, then go ahead and do that. So that's how I was brought up. And the other thing, Al, is aside from my name, my name is not my call sign either. So, what can I tell you? But I did want to get in here with this group, and I never do. And I sleep in just a little bit later on Sunday mornings most of the time. I did not today, and I got on the receiver roaming around the band, see what's going on. I did that early evening last evening. I don't want to hold it too long here, but early evening last evening, and heard a QSO around 3760-ish, and worked a couple of fives. One guy on AM. This is on AM. Guy out of Arkansas, guy out of Texas. So I was tickled. I think it goes back to you, if I'm not mistaken, LW1VTP, KD2FO.
Let's see if we have any other stations that would like to check into the prenet for the carrier net, W1VTP.
I'm back, Al.
Yeah, why don't you pick it up, Steve, and then it goes to the top. WA2CDL, W3MMR. I'm going to keep you in the line. It makes you a little more frequent, but K2FW, WA2RAS, and KD2FO is the way I'm keeping the list. On that proposal, I hope that my sideband friends are very polarized about this, and mostly to the negative. And they're really getting, I don't know, it's not snarky, but they're just making it uncomfortable for dialogue. And I can see the good points. I can appreciate the bad points. And the problem, in my view, is that the median age for HF operation is going up and up and up. And I view that as not a good thing. But if you get the way these clubs work, they do a push for getting new licensees, and generally speaking, the median age drops with the new licensees. And to bring them in, I guess the band would be 39 to 4, for example. And of course, that's where the bulk of your net operations are. And you can view that two ways. You can view that as they're crowding us out, or you can be accepting and bring them in. And then you've got some younger folks, including maybe some YLs, who will join the to join the HF experience. So I'm a wait-and-see guy right now. But I just do hope that in this day and age, it's easy to get into a food fight over things like this, and I hope that doesn't happen. I hope that we get into a good, healthy dialogue, and then there's a place where you can give. I don't know if it's closed yet. But last time I knew, there was a place where you could put your opinion in on that whole thing. So the list is as follows: WA2CDL to W3MMR to K2FW to WA2RES. To KD2FO. And welcome, Don. I felt for your comments there that you don't frequently carry a net, either hadn't at all or not very much. Be that the case, it's a nice group of folks. So Andy, pick it up and pass it on, W1VTP. And the folks to try to allow for folks to jump their call in between transmissions. So go ahead, Andy.
W1GTH.
Okay. Got W1GTH. Let me just drop the carrier a second. Stand by. Alright, just sure that nobody else is going to jump in and say hello to WATCDL here. Hopefully everyone copies me. Hello to Jeff. How you doing, Jeff? Mr. RES, my team over here. And I'm hearing of this proposal, what you want to do. I don't have any comments on it yet. I'm going to have to, digest it and think about what I would want to say about it. So I'll keep it short because it is almost that time. We got less than 15 minutes, and I don't know if Joe's going to check in. I would think he would. I'm not sure if he said last week that he'll be here this week, because I know sometimes he has other commitments. So, yeah, I'm keeping a look also. In fact, at times I could be net control. I used to be net control many years ago on some various nets, so I could do that. And so we have 6, including myself, 6 check-ins so far. So I'll keep it short. And Al, thank you for giving me the, telling me about my table, which is very, very valuable service. I've been doing it for many years. In fact, I go down to North Carolina. I've been down to the Shelby Ham Fest to do the same thing. I've been doing it here on Long Island and Queens and Connecticut and a few others for since the 80s, the 1980s. So it's been very good for me. All right, with that, let me give it back to you, Al. So you could pass it around in case anybody else other than W1GTH checked in. So Al, I'll let you tell
3835 is occupied.
To next, because I know you got the order. So back to you, Al. W1VTP, and I'll just stand by and wait for the net to start. W1VTP, WA2CDL. Go ahead, Al.
Whiskey 1 Zulu Bravo.
Got you, Jerry.
Yeah, okay. Got W1GTH and W1ZB. Steve, I would appreciate it if you could pick up the taking of the list. I have the list here, this completion. And that let me sit back and save my vocal cords, unless you'd would rather not.
Frequency, hold on. Okay. Well, Al, is this correct? I have Andy, Perry, then you, then me, then Jeff, then KD2FL, who I don't have his name, had a very strong signal here, by the way, and then Bob GTH, and then Jerry ZB. Is that accurate, Al?
Yes.
Okay. All right, thank you. Well, thanks to you for cluing me in. And I have very strong opinions on the. I guess you guys are talking about the band plan. And all of this band planning stems from the new subaudible modes. Some people like to refer to them as digi modes, which is, in my opinion, not accurate, because Ready is a digi mode, and so is CW a digi mode. But these new modes are the first modes to come along that don't use the RST, readability, signal strength, and tone. Obviously, we don't use tone on AM and sideband, but all of the modes prior to these new, quote, sub-audible modes used RST, readability. They were all, quote, heard, unquote, modes. And now we have modes that go below the threshold of human hearing, and they have received equal weighting from the American Radio Relay League for all of their awards, and that has mainstreamed those modes. And that's what this band planning is all about. It's very simple. Follow the money trail for the ARRL. And that's what it's all about, gang. This is not a war between CW and sideband and AM. This is a war against the new subaudible modes, or as I like to say, the computer screen watchers. It's communications, but it's not radio. Radio is listened to, it's heard, and the computer screen watchers of the subaudible modes are not radio. It's a world without speakers and a world without headphones, and that's not radio. So I could go on, but that's what it's all about. I've called the ARRL, and I've been treated as though I was came from a garbage pail about this, and I have other friends that feel the same way. Anyway, Patches has been fed, and Perry, I just wanted to mention to you, I know you're a bit of a hockey fan, as I am, and I just wonder if you ever go over to the Voorhees skate zone. In fact, they'll have a practice over there tomorrow at 11:30. Yours truly will be there. And so I find that interesting. So let's see, it's 8 of. Let me just see if Joe's in here. N1VIV, you around, Joe? K2FW. I guess not. Over to you, Perry. W3MMR, K2FW.
Yeah, K2FW, AM carrier prenet. Hang on 1 second here. W3MMR. Well, good morning, everyone. Decent group already here this morning, so good to hear. Hope everyone had a great weekend, a great week, I should say. And we had one here. Pretty busy at work, but that goes without saying, I guess. Yeah, big hockey fan, Steve. I've been enjoying the Flyers. They've been playing very good lately. And I played hockey over at Voorhees. I played there many a times, actually. I played for a team there. I played for the Gladiators for a very short period of time at my end of my career. I played AAA ice hockey for many years. I played for the Philadelphia Junior Flyers over here in Westchester, out in Westchester at Iceline. And into high school, and then we moved to Jersey, and it was just way too far to try to make multiple practices a week. So I was going to school in Jersey. My father was working in Delaware County. So for him to drive an hour back to the house to pick me up, then another hour and 45 minutes out to Westchester for hockey practice, and another hour and 45 minutes back, just wasn't, couldn't do it. So I went from playing AAA to single A, and that kind of caused me to lose interest. But I'm very familiar with the skate zone over there, and I was actually thinking about joining a men's league because the guy I work with, I just found out, is in a men's league here. So real good on that. And as far as the band allocations for technicians, from what I've heard, I don't know how true this is, that they want them to be allocated to 3,900 to 4 megahertz here on 80 meters. I don't know about the other bands, I just know about here on 80 meters. And if that's the case, then that negates them being able to use FT8, things like that, which is down in the bottom portion of the band, below the CW portion of the band. we're kind of right in the middle of it, I guess, or in part of it. But I know, like on 40 meters, it's on 74. Is where the FTA portion is, and 14.074 on 20 meters, so on and so forth. So, but I don't know the ins and outs. Maybe they'll be able to operate there and also at the top end of the band. But yeah, I've heard it's supposed to be at the top end of the band on 80 meters, and I believe the top end of the band on 20 and 40 as well. But don't hold me to that. I'm not sure. I'd have to do some more reading up on it. But if it's going to get more people licensed, I don't mind. I don't operate up there anyway. You know, I usually stay at the highest I go is the AM window. And unfortunately, I don't have my extra yet, so I can't operate in the extra portion of the band. But I guess for the older guys who have had their license a lot longer than me, I could understand the frustration, especially guys who are, code extras, or, guys had to take a code to get whatever class of license they have now. I'm a no-code general, and, I could see how that could be very frustrating to see all this happening over the years. So I do understand where a lot of people come from and respect everyone's opinion on it. But I don't mind the digital modes, the FT8 and stuff. I could see how Steve, like you said, as far as the awards, I don't think should be weighted the same way. I think CW, should have its own thing. Phone should have its own DXCC. I think, digital FT8 and so on should have its own, DXCC awards. I don't think they should be all, bundled together, in my opinion. Anyway, so we'll turn it to, I was turning it to Al, and then it would be Steve, but I think we had a couple other checkers with W1GTH and W1ZB broke in. So do you want me to send, Steve, should I send it to W1GTH, or what do you think? Give me 3 more.
WC2K.
Yeah, I missed that call. I don't know if Joe's there. The problem arose when they included the suborbital modes, and I know you keep everybody refers to them as digital modes, but they're really not digital, because if you're referring to them as digital, then you have to refer to CW and RIDI as digital. But they were mainstreamed when the American Radio Relay League gave them equal rating and included them into the DXCC mixed. So what the ARRL basically said was not hearing a signal was equal to hearing a signal. That is what they did when they included these modes, which again are the first modes ever in the history of our hobby not to carry the RST system of signal strength, simply because it goes below the threshold of human hearing, which anybody with a brain knows if it goes that far now, what do you think, how far is it going to go down 3, 4, 5 years out? It's going to go even farther. So to say that's the same, it borders on the ludicrous, as the old saying goes. And that is what mainstreamed these modes. Otherwise, they would be back with PSK 31 and some of the other modes that surface. But once they mainstreamed them by including them into the mixed category and allowing them for awards like WAC, WAS, etc., 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 it was a big cash cow for the ARRL for applications, band endorsements, verifications of Logbook of the World, etc., etc. And today, they have something like 65% of the QSL cards coming in through the DX bureaus are all of these new suborbital modes. And that's a big cash cow for the ARRL. Not to mention what you guys are talking about, which is a continuation of lowering the standards. So what we're having is a hobby of basically no standards. So there you go. Let me see if Joe's on here. N1VIV from K2FW.
Yeah, good morning, Steve. K2FW. This is N1VIV. Let's see if everything's working proper here. I know we've got just couple of minutes till net time here. Let me see how I'm making it. K2FW, this is N1VIV.
Whiskey Charlie 2 Kilo.
Oh, there's Rick. I know Rick. Gotcha. Joe, did you ask me a question?
Oh, I was just wondering how I'm making it down there, and if you have a rundown on the pre-net check-ins.
Yep. We have Andy W82C CDL, and then we have Perry W3MMR. Yep, I'm on frequency. And then Al W1VTP. Then myself. And then that's followed by Jeff WA2RAS. I don't have this gentleman's name, but he had a very, very nice signal. Kilowatt Delta 2 Fox Lima KD2FL. Followed by Bob W1GTH. And then Jerry W1ZB. And then Rick WC2K, who's a fellow South Jerseyan. That's Whiskey Charlie 2 Kilo. And that's who I have so far, Joe. N1VIV, K2FW. Go ahead.
Correction?
Go ahead, Dale.
Yeah, that whiskey, K2FO, Fox Ocean. His name is Don.
Okay, sorry about that.
Okay, so is it KD2FO?
Kilo Delta 2, Fox Ocean.
Okay, got it. Good morning to Don and Al and everybody else. I'm going to make a note on Rick's call because I know Rick's checked in before. But seems like we have a nice pre-net turnout, and it is 8 o'clock, 8:01 actually. My apologies for that. Let me just jot down a few notes here. Andy, WA2, putting in prefixes here. W3, W1VTP, K2FW, WA2RAS, and then Don, Bob, Jerry, and Rick. Okay, great. Let me get another sip of coffee here. My apologies for getting down here a little late. But I do need to leave this morning right at 9:30 for some spiritual enrichment. So I needed to get all my preparations complete, which I was able to do, which is great. So we'll launch things here and see who else might turn up. So good morning, everybody. Welcome to the AM Carrier Net. My name is Joe. My call is N1VIV, and I'm located in Stonington, Connecticut. The AM Carrier Net meets every Sunday morning here at 8 a.m. local time here on 3835 on the 75-meter band. The AM Carrier Net was established for the purpose of promoting and enjoying operations in the AM mode. It's a casual net, so there's no requirement for check-in other than being able to operate in the AM mode. We certainly like to hear from folks who might be just beginning to explore interest in AM, whether you're trying to resurrect an old boat anchor or maybe trying to get a more modern radio to sound good on AM. On any given Sunday, there's a whole host of participants with knowledge and information to that end. So all are welcome. Please join in. The format of the net is to take check-ins by call district, and then if there's check-ins during round one, we typically try to tack those folks in at the end of round one, and if there's check-ins during round two, we typically try to weave those folks in as we go. I certainly want to pause momentarily and say good morning to anybody who might be just in the listening mode this morning, whether you're a licensed radio amateur or a shortwave listener. In either case, if you're just listening this morning, good morning. And if anybody who's checking in for whatever reason might be on a short timeline this morning, just let me know when you check in by saying something like, please float me to the top. And I will do my best to get you in here at the top of round one so we can get you in here and then off to whatever other responsibilities you may have. So with all that being said, and another sip of coffee on the way, thanks for your patience with that. Whew, I gotta wake up. But I was able to get through that from memory without adequate coffee. So we'll see how the rest of the situation goes here. here are the folks that have been noted to me from Steve, who have checked in the pre-net arrangement. And I'll run the list down in a much more detailed fashion once we take all the check-ins. So I'm just going to breeze through. If you hear your call, then you're set. And if I missed you for some reason, just check in at the appropriate time. So I got myself, of course, N1VIV. Andy, WOX.
Please not on frequency.
These are just the pre-net check-ins. We'll run the list entirety before we start round one. Perry, W3MMR, Al, W1VTP, K2FW, Steve down there in New Jersey, Jeff, WA2RAS, Don, KD2FO. I think maybe we've talked before, Don, but I'm not 100% sure, but I've got your name and your call, so we're good there. Bob, W1GTH, Jerry. Nice to hear you on, Jerry. I haven't heard you yet, but I hear that you're here, so good morning, W1ZB. And Rick, WC2K, down there in southern New Jersey. So let's take check-ins from the second call district, 2 land stations for the AM carrier net. Please call now. This is N1VIV.
N1VIV. Good morning, Joe. This is KC2FXE, Catskill, New York.
WA2MER.
W1EKG in and out.
Okay, good morning, Ross. I've got John. Boy, it's been a long time. How are you? I do hear you on the Lonely Guys Net from time to time, and probably AWA in the afternoons here on Sunday. But boy, it's nice to have you join us on a Sunday morning. And I heard Jim in there. Good morning to you, Jim. And then Ross. Can I float you to the top, Ross? Do you have time for that? Or is this an official check-in and check-out?
Let's see. I got to tune up a little bit. Wow. What's going on here? I'm planning on heading out to breakfast with the XYL and won't be able to hang around at all. So there we go. That's more like it. Looks like a happy T3 now. So yeah, I'm going to be kind of in and out. The Valentine's Day breakfast happens this morning, so we're going to go do that.
Yeah, very good. Well, beautiful signal here into southeastern Connecticut. Sounding very good. T368, fabulous. And enjoy breakfast, and best wishes to your XYL. So, very good. Excellent. No problem at all. We've got you checked in, and let me put a check mark next to you to make sure I remember to not put you on the list for round one. But nice to hear you, Ross. Good morning to you, and glad you were able to stop by. Let's see, let's see if there's any other 2 land stations, any other second call district stations for the net. Please call now. Okay, nothing else heard there. Let's see if there's any first call district stations. Goodness gracious, I'm tongue-tied this morning. 1 land stations for the AM carrier net. Please call now. This is N1VIV.
K1 Lima Charlie, and please float me near the top, Joe. Over.
KE1MI. Good morning, Joe.
KD1SH. Good morning.
Okay. Well, we've got Bud K1LC. Good morning to you. We've got you up at the top of the list. No trouble at all. Greg KE1MI out there in Vermont. And Bill KD1SH in the northwest corner. No. Sorry. Northeast corner. Jeez, what am I thinking? Of Connecticut. We've got Bill in there as well, KD1SH. I heard a station doubling on Bud, but I think it was probably one of you two guys. So no trouble. Let's give another listen. Any of the 1 land stations for the net, please call now.
WX10.
WX10. Very good. Bruce. Is it Bruce? Yes, I think it is. I'm trying to think, Bruce, if conditions might be a problem with you I don't know. I think things are probably going to hold up okay. Do you have a preference, Bruce? Would you like to be closer to the top just based on conditions?
Sure, that might help. Sorry for that, but I think it would help due to the conditions down here. Over.
No, I try to, anytime, who is it, WA3VJB, and, when we have folks from Annapolis and down in that neighborhood checking in, I always kind of think about it, saying, like, now let's just put these guys up at the top because, who knows, conditions could slip away and then you're way down at the bottom of round one, so, not at the bottom, at the end of round one. Jeez. So let's get you up at close to the top here, right after Bud. WX10. That way we've got you covered, and we're going to be able to hear you, and you're going to be able to hear us, and that's probably just a better option. Very good. Any other? Let's just do a general call-up. Any stations, anywhere. Any stations, anywhere. 1, 2, 3, 4s, and beyond for the AM carrier net. Please call now.
Virginia also. You might want to be near the top somewhere, and then it'll be my one transmission.
Yeah, quite a big carrier, but boy, I heard you right through it, Don, and I hope you're hearing me. I didn't realize that, Don. Okay, that's fabulous. No trouble at all. Let's slide you up. I appreciate you saying that, because I wouldn't want to, we're likely to lose conditions between here and Virginia all that much more earlier. So KD2FO, and boy, it's been some time since we've had checking. I'm trying to remember if we had a station who was checking in fairly regularly a few years ago from Virginia, but I'm not sure it was you, Don. I don't think so, but great to have you here and checking in from Virginia. So we've got you third or fourth in the line. That'll help things move along. And we've got you in business there. Let's do another check-in because there was a huge carrier in there. Any other stations anywhere for the net, please call now.
Joe, there's a Whiskey 2 Alpha Ocean.
Yeah, I was able to hear him through a carrier, but no trouble. We've got you, W2AO. And I think that's a new check-in to the net. So I'd like to float him up if we can. Let's see. I'm going to give a quick look here just in case. Just in the recent two-land check-ins. Stand by here for 1 second. No, I think W2AO is new as well, so I'm going to put you up to the top, sir, as a new check-in and a guest of the net here, so welcome. Going to tuck you in right next to Bud here. W2AO. Excellent. Very good. Let's see any other check-ins, any stations anywhere for the net. Please call now. Kilo Delta 2. Let me make sure I've got it. Is it Kilo Delta 2 Quebec Alpha Romeo? Is that right?
Alpha Romeo. Quebec Alpha Romeo.
Okay. I'm not sure if we got new check-ins galore, I think, today. Wow. I guess we're going to have to welcome everybody here at once. That's no trouble. Let's put right next to W2AO. We'll go with KD2 Quebec Alpha Romeo. Very good. No trouble at all. All right, well, that's Fabulous that we've got some new check-ins. Let's see, any other stations anywhere for the net, please call now.
Hey, Joe, if I could make a suggestion, since there's so many check-ins, why don't we get the net going and kind of limit the transmissions?
Yeah, you guys had a perfect double, so Steve, go ahead first, and then we'll take comments from the other station.
Yeah, I was going to say, since there's so many check-ins, I would suggest getting the net going and limiting keeping the transmissions, relatively short.
Yeah, excellent suggestion. We'll take check-ins as we go, and we'll certainly be taking check-ins at the end of round one, so that's no trouble at all. And there was another comment there, sir, quickly.
I have to check out. I'm on limited time this morning, but thank you for having me in. This is W2AO Stu up in Fishkill, New York, which is 60 miles north of New York City. 73s, and thank you from W2AO.
Yeah, no trouble, Stu. My name is Joe, Juliet Oscar Echo, and I'm located in Stonington, Connecticut. Very nice to make your acquaintance this morning. You've joined the AM Carrier Net here, and we're very happy that you did. I know that you have to run, so that's no trouble, but please come by and see us as often as you can on Sunday mornings. We're here every Sunday morning at 8 a.m. So swing on by, and glad that you were able to check in. I'm going to note you in my little logbook here, and we'll look forward to hearing you sometime again soon on a Sunday morning at 8 a.m. So thanks, Steve. Okay, so I'm going to do the rundown, and I would go with Steve's suggestions of, keeping transmissions a little bit more on the short side, and we will navigate our way through. Well, the number of check-ins, based on my time limitation, unfortunately, may leave us with just a single one round. But if somebody wants to stay and kind of navigate, I could do the handoff of round two with stations whose stations who are staying and stations who are going. So let me run down the list, and then I'll make very brief comments and move things along. So I'm going to get things started. We've got Stu, W2AO, checked in and out. So good morning to you, Stu, in 73. So I'm going to start things off, and then I'm going to send it to KD2, Quebec Alpha Romeo, KD2 QAR. KD2 QAR is going to send it to Bruce WX10 in Maryland. WX10 is going to send it to KD2FO, Don, down there in Virginia. Good morning to you, Don. KD2FO is going to send it to Andy, WA2CDL. WA2CDL is going to send it to Perry, W3MMR. W3MMR is going to send it up to Al, W1VTP. W1VTP is going to send it down to Steve, K2FW. And Steve, K2FW, is going to send it to Jeff, WA2RAS. WA2RAS is going to send it to Bob, W1GTH. And W1GTH is going to send it to Jerry, W1ZB. W1ZB is going to send it to Rick, WC2K, down there in New Jersey. And WC2K is going to send it to John, KC2FXE, out there in New York. Boy, it's nice to hear you, John. It's been some time, for sure. KC2FXE is going to send it to Jim, WA2MER. And WA2MER is going to send it to Greg, KE1MI, out there in Vermont. KE1MI is going to send it to Bill, KD1SH. And Bill, if there's any additional check-ins, we're going to tack them in after you. And if not, it'll come back up to the top of the list to me for whatever attempt at round 2 we may have time for. It's going to be a little bit limited today, I think, but we'll do our best. My cutoff, unfortunately, is 9:30. I could probably stay till 9:40, but then I've really got to be out the door. So let's see if I can figure out 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Looks like we have 19 check-ins, so that's pretty amazing. So I will not hold it up here. I'll just say I'm running my homebrew rig, listening on the HT110 and the dipole antenna. Nothing much new other than the cold weather and the temperatures here. But we're getting through, and at least there's no snow, knock wood, as I say that. And it's supposed to warm up as the day goes on today. So really great turnout. Let's launch things here and get things started. So I'm going to send it over to a new check-in for introductions. Kilo Delta 2, Quebec Alpha Romeo. Sir, you go ahead and take it away, and if you'd like to send it back to me, you can, and I'll send it off from there. Otherwise, it would go to Bud K1LC. KD2QAR and the AM carrier net. This is N1VIV.
Oh, this is KD2QAR. I'm glad I'm getting out to you guys. Yeah, I don't do a lot of AM, but there was a QSO party today, so I was going around. I thought I'd join in. I heard the net campus. My name is Mark. I'm out there in Buffalo, just east of Buffalo, New York. So glad to be in. I'll probably be a one and done because I got to roll off the trip, but nice talking to you. I'm going to back to
Yeah, I think you said the background, Mark. A little bit tough copy there. Not too. I think. Did I copy your name as Mark? And can you give me your location one more time, Mark?
Yeah, I'm in Manchester, New York. A few miles east of Buffalo, New York, out western New York.
Yeah, okay, very good, Mark. You're out there in New York. Excellent. Okay. Very good. Well, nice to hear you in here this morning. And we're here every Sunday morning at 8 a.m. local time, so please stop by and join us as often as you can. Sounds like you might not be staying for any attempt at round 2, but that's fine. We're really happy to have you checked in this morning and look forward to hearing you maybe more often here on the AM carrier net. Please stop by and join us as often as you can. Let's send it on down the list here, over to Bud, and then on down the list to K1LC and the AM carrier net. This is N1VIV.
Yeah, okay, Joe. N1VIV. This is K1LC. I'm not exactly sure who I send it to. I believe it's to Bruce, W1XO, on a quick break. Can you verify that? Over.
Yeah, that's correct. It's it goes over to Bruce WX10, and I'm just going to make comments. Steve, I heard some of your comments on digital modes and things like that, which was very interesting. I'm sure others may comment as we go along here in the net, but I guess that would be for a time when there's more time to share thoughts on it. But very interesting how the financial aspects are interwoven with the methodology. So very interesting indeed. Okay, let's send it over to. I just wanted to make a quick comment on that. Over to you, Bud, and then yes, it does go to Bruce WX10. Go ahead, Bud.
Yeah, check me out. Net control. Back to net W1VTV.
Oh, okay, Al. It sounds like you're on a short timeline. Do you want to make any comments prior to leaving?
No, thank you.
Okay. Have a great Sunday. Thanks for checking in. Go ahead, Bud. K1LC.
Okay, WA1, Queen Ida X-Ray. This is W2DJ.
LC, 15 miles southeast of Boston. You're coming in here fine this morning. The band seems pretty good. And good morning to everyone else on the net. It's 30 degrees here and clear. It's supposed to roll up to the mid-40s. pretty unusual weather for February. And January's been the same. Was the same. It's keep thinking we're going to get hit in March with some major snowfall, which we haven't had this winter. Yes, thanks for floating me up near the top. Running my Class A rig here, 180 watts output into the 4-wave loop, and receiving on the Flex 1500. And all the signals are sounding good, although I could not copy Mark. Could see his carrier on the spectral display, but couldn't really hear any words. But everyone else is coming in fine. So, let's see, ham radio projects. The one I'm still working on is antenna analyzer. It's a little sort of a parts kit that you get from QRP Labs, and it's not working quite the way I would like it to work. Very inaccurate for higher impedances. So I'm trying to figure out a way to adjust that. So that's keeping me busy. I also have some other projects, but that's for another time. With that, I guess I'll just keep it short here. There's a lot of people, and I appreciate being able to check into the AM carrier net. Over to you, Bruce. You're coming in here also. Very good there from Maryland, I guess. Yes, Maryland. Keep getting that wrong. WX10, this is K1LC. Over to you.
Good morning there, Bud. Let me just tune up here. Okie dokie. Good morning, Bud, and to all the other gentlemen on the air this morning, this is WX10. The name is Bruce, and we're located on Maryland's eastern shore. So yesterday we were returning from Virginia, and when we do that, there are only two ways to get to the eastern shore of Maryland from Virginia. One is through Norfolk, over the Chesapeake Bay Bridge Tunnel, or through Annapolis in Maryland over the Bay Bridge. So we had the southern route. We found out that we discovered that about 3 o'clock in the afternoon, we were very close to Wallops Island, as we were anyway, but we were exceptionally close. So my wife and I found ourselves down a rural road and exited the car, and at 3:21, almost on the dot, there was the rocket launch from Wallops Island, sending up a giant rocket that would resupply the space station. So, sure enough, we observed the rocket taking off, and later on when I got home, I checked how far we were. We were about 5 miles from the rocket. But that was close enough to see the rocket clearly, and of course the rocket exhaust. But the most impressive thing about watching one of those things, and this is our second time, the most impressive thing is the noise and the pressure. It's overwhelming. It's unbelievable. There's nothing like it. I suppose a tornado would be like it, but it shatters the air, and it continues on and on and on long after the rocket disappears from view, because of course the sound is only going about 1,100 feet per second. So it was spectacular. It was a beautiful day, sunny, a little crisp, but not too bad. So I would greatly urge anybody who's in the neighborhood, and you can see it. My daughter in Virginia, 50 miles away, could see it, but she couldn't hear it. So I hope somebody else was able to see the rocket. So that's my experience yesterday, and it was a good one. So how about you, Don? You're just across the bay. Maybe you saw it. So over to Don, KD2FO. This is WX10. Okay, very good. No, a little trouble getting the rig keyed here. WX10 and the net. Let me make sure I hear you okay. Okay, we do. Very good morning all the way around. This is KD2FO. And handle here is done. I'm in northeastern Virginia, about 50 miles south of Washington, D.C. I don't know exactly how far inland, Bruce, concerning that rocket. However, I was at a store recently, a few days ago, not yesterday or whenever that rocket went up, but before that, and it had a very wonderful view to the east, and the proprietor came along. He says, hey, you want to, we're a few minutes out from the rocket launch from Wallops Island. And so we watched, and then he was keeping track of something there with his iPhone or what have you. And he said, well, it's been scrubbed. It's been scrubbed. So I didn't see anything. I was hoping to. And it was a very nice view to the east from his place, very flat and no trees for miles, like seemingly miles in that one direction, thankfully. So I know if I ever can find something scheduled that I know of is going to go up from there, I'll run over to that store and right. Probably should be able to see it. Anyhow, a lot of calls on here this morning. I don't usually check in this net in a big long lineup. And I am familiar with some of you guys and some not. N1VIV, you mentioned running your home brew rig, and HQ110, I think, was the combo. But anyway, I was interested in what the HB rig was. A bunch of newcomers here on frequency. What can I tell you? And myself, I'm running an old Globe King 500A, about 250 watts to the 160-meter full-wave loop that I'm using. Receiver is a Allocations SX101A. And that's the station here. Been an honor and a privilege to get in with a nice bunch of AMers. Good long list, boy, this morning. Wow. And I know there's other good long lists. There's like a Midwest net going on right now for DX60 net that's got long lists and what have you. There's a lot of those guys. And like I said earlier on the pre-net, I was tickled. I worked down on 3760 or so last night on AM. A guy out of Texas and a guy out of Arkansas at the same time. And did nice copy on both those guys. All right, won't hold it any longer. I believe it goes to WA2CDL and the net. This is KD2FO. Go ahead.
Okay, Don. Thank you. Delta Yankee on Long Island, about 30 miles east of New York City. On everything so far, and a nice long list. It's nice to hear a lot of people check in. I've not been checking in that often, only because I've been running very low power. Bruce, that rocket roll is ridiculous. I would love to have been there myself to film that. I could imagine the thrill that presented as was traveling into space. That's very good. So, yeah, we have a long list, and I'm not going to keep it too long. The name again is Andy, Able Nancy Delta Yankee, and I'll be on more often in the future, and then as time goes on, I'll be tuning my signal more and more. Just to mention, next weekend I will not be on. Next weekend is the Long Island Mobile Amateur Radio Club Highmark Ham Fair, which I'll be attending, and that's the 23rd, next Sunday. So I will not be checking in. That's one reason why I checked in today. And that's really about it. I have no other comments on the change, the ARRL proposal, the changes, the digital, and I have my thoughts about that, but I will save that for next month. We have a big move. through. And I know that Joe at 1VID will have to get out by a little less than an hour or so I won't keep it. So it goes to Perry next, W3MMR. I got that call right, I believe I do. And good to meet up with everyone. And we'll be on again. We'll talk some more. Perry, over to you. W3MMR in the group, the live group. AM Carrier Net Group, WA2CDL. Go ahead, Perry. Thanks for letting me in.
WA2CDL. In the AM Carrier Net, this is W3MMR. Oh, real good, Andy. Pleasure to make your acquaintance. Pleasure to hear you. About 10 over. S9 down here to Chester, Pennsylvania. For those who don't know, my name is Perry, Pop Echo Romeo, Romeo Yankee. The call is W3MMR. We are located in Chester, Pennsylvania, 7 miles southwest of Philadelphia, here in Delaware County, Pennsylvania, right on the Delaware River. I'll do my signal report rundown. I don't have that many this morning, but I got a few. Joe, you're 20 over this morning. Good morning to you. Andy, you were 10 over. Don, you were 25 over S9, KD2FO. Steve, you're 35 over, as always. The channel master, good morning. Bud, you were 15 over S9. Bruce, you were 20 over S9. And that's all I got. And Val was 30 over S9. Real quick, I know, Steve, you had mentioned that, the FT8 is not an RST mode. You do send signal reports back and forth to each other. It is part of the message that gets sent back and forth. And it's signal to noise ratio. I think like minus 21 is the lowest that's audible for it to pick up. And one thing I've noticed, if I can't hear a signal with my ear on the passband or see it on the pan adapter, the program for FT8 doesn't pick it up here. I've never been able to pick up anything below the noise floor on that mode. That's just my experience, though. But we'll move on from that. I just wanted to comment on that. 73 Al, 73 Mark. Real good on the rocket launcher while on Island. I had a job interview there for Lockheed Martin right when I first got out of the military on the NASA base. They have a big Aegis radar facility. The Navy has a big Aegis radar facility there. Their R&D department for their new cruisers there. So I had a job interview with that project. This is going back in 2011, 2012. But anyway, with that being said, we're going to say 7-3. I'm going to be one and done. Appreciate Joe, you running the net. And good hearing everyone this morning. Hope everybody has a great weekend, and we'll catch you guys next week. And then now I think do I turn it to you, Steve? Yeah, it goes to Steve. K2FW in the AM Carrier Net. This is W3MMR.
Alrighty, Perry. And you say you played for the Gladiators. They were out of the Coliseum, right?
Yep, that's right.
Yeah, I remember that. The old Coliseum where the Flyers originally practiced before they built their new facility over in, that was in Voorhees as well. It was on the other side of town. But until they built their new facility that they have now with all their offices and general manager and, everybody's there. So all the reporters and whatnot and two beautiful hockey rinks inside and all that. If you ever, I have no idea what your work schedule is, but I don't know if you work 9 to 5, Monday through Friday, or if you have, other days and stuff. You have to drop me an email or something like that, Perry, but it's kind of interesting to go over there and watch some of the practices. And like I said, they'll have one tomorrow. Should be a lot of kids, unfortunately, over there because it's a semi-holiday. And so I know the schools are closed. Well, they close for everything. So it might be a little crowded over there. But I haven't seen a definitive time yet, but it's probably going to be in around 11:30ish or something like that. So don't know if you know what your work schedule is, but it's kind of fun to go over there and stand right up at the glass and watch the practices. I get a big kick out of it. I really enjoy it. Yeah, I'm not going to touch too much more on this stuff. It obviously, Perry has a huge advantage over CW. It has supplanted CW in the DX world to a large amount, and it's all because it's so much easier and so much more effective as a mode because you don't have to hear it. And you don't have to put up with the static and all this. There's none of the stuff. Well, I hear your signal and stuff like that. And I've seen reports down to -24. And you can maybe the best CW ops can maybe dig something out at around -9, -10, and that's about the limit. But this stuff goes down to -22, 23, and it will go down farther as the technology improves. And like I said, it's a world without speakers and headphones, and I question if it's radio. Is it communications? Yes. Is it radio? Not in my world. So anyway, I'm going to move on. 73s, everyone, and over to you, Jeff. And I'll listen out for a little bit here, and then go be pulling the plug. 73s, everyone. Hopefully catch everyone either on the bands during the week or certainly next Sunday. And we have the Vintage Sideband Net on Friday mornings at 8:30. And Bruce, nice signal if you're really big signal up this way into South Jersey. Over to you, Jeff. WA2RES in the AM carrier net from K2FW.
Okay, thank you, Steve. K2FW. This WA2RES, yeah, I agree. Bruce had a really big signal. Actually, everybody except maybe Perry had a very big signal. Perry's signal, maybe it's conditions, I don't know. Perry's signal is up and down, hit the noise level there a couple of times. But everybody else was coming so far is coming in really, really well, including Mark near Buffalo. Wow. And KD2FO was especially strong. What a nice setup Don has. Steve, K2FW is clearly the channel master here. Anyway, on the Latine radio, listening on a Hammerland HQ 215. And next week I will not be on, be at the same Hamfest as Andy, the Weimark at Hamfest. And I guess I started an interesting conversation about the ARRL pushing for technicians on HF. I don't know. To me, it sounds like a really stupid idea, to dumb it down that way. And unless the goal is to turn HF into something akin to Citizens Band, let's see how well that worked out. What the motivation? I mean, I can understand, bringing more people into the hobby, but I would think a better way to do it would be the way I got into the hobby, which was with the novice license. What was wrong with that? And you got it here, and if you want to move on, but just to dumb it down that way, really a terrible idea, I think, but that's what you get. Anyway, this will be my only transmission. Great turnout today, and let me turn it over to Bob. Bob, here it comes. W1GTH. This is WA2RAS.
WA2RAS in the AM carrier group, W1GTH, Bob in Walcott, Connecticut, and good morning all. And yeah, well, it's always great to hear new check-ins. The downside for me, just for me anyhow, is I need to be out of here by 9 o'clock or so. And the pre-net, there was the AWA was calling CQ right over top of everybody but the stronger stations like Steve and Al, for me anyhow, because I'm listening on a BC 348 1940s aircraft receiver and has no filtering at all. But anyhow, if we keep our comments fairly short, then I always have the option of jumping to the top, but I don't want to do that. I was at the Marble Mass Hamfest yesterday, and I didn't see anybody from the carrier net there, although a couple of guys said they were going to be there. But if you don't have a hat on with your call sign, it's kind of difficult to do. But I didn't particularly pick up anything, and one of the guys did, and he normally comes home with a trunk full of stuff, but there was three of us all together, and we always stop. There's a beautiful little restaurant just over the Connecticut into the Connecticut border here, and excuse me, and we always stop there and eat on the way back, and it's a good day. It was a really good day, nice day. A little cool, chilly in the beginning when we got into that cold car down here in Southington, but outside of that, excuse me, hang on. So outside of that, it was a good day all around. But anyhow, I'm gonna turn it over to I believe W1ZB Jerry, because I'll catch you guys next week hopefully, and 7-3 all. This is W1GTH over to W1ZB.
W1JJA.
Yeah, okay. We have a breaker. Joe, do you want to pick him up and tack him on the end of the list?
Yeah, absolutely. I think it was W1 Juliet Alpha. Is that correct?
Yes, that's correct. The name here is Jim. The call is Whiskey 1 Juliet America. We're located in Wolcott, Connecticut, not too far from the last gentleman that was just on there. And we just tuned by here this morning and heard a real loud signal on the band, so we thought we'd just stop by and say hello.
Wow, big signal into southern New Jersey, Jim.
All right, thank you very much. Don't know if I don't get on AM very often, so this is the first time I had this written. Actually, probably about the second time I've had this on AM. So I don't know how well it sounds, but anyways, I figured I'd get in and say hello.
Here. So Bill KD1SH, W1JJA, Juliet Alpha, here in Connecticut. I'm also in Connecticut, Jim. My name is Joe, Juliet Oscar Echo. My name is Joe, and I'm located in Stonington, down here in the southeast corner of Connecticut. So, Bill KD1SH, you're going to send it to Jim, W1JJA. Jim, if there's any other check-ins, we'll pack them in after you. But let's get it back to Jerry. Thank you, Jerry, for letting me draw Jim in here and get his particulars. W1ZB. This is N1VIV.
Yeah, very good. Very good, Joe. This is W1ZB. Let me just take a few seconds to tune up here. Yeah, I think I had about a 2-to-1 SWR here, and I wanted to tune it out. So it's pretty flat now. Anyway, good morning. Name here is Jerry. Juliet Echo Romeo Yankee. My QTH is near Boston in Andover, Massachusetts.
And good signals this morning from everyone. Heard Mark out there in Buffalo area. Heard Don and Bruce down along the Atlantic shore there. And everyone's coming in here Q5. So I am running the home Bruce rig, pair of 810s, modulated by 805s, probably about 350 watts output. And the receiver is a 1930s Helicrafters SX-17. And the microphone's a D104. I am doing a little bit of operating this weekend in the AWA AM QSO party. Last night I was on this band and worked the flagship station W2AM, as well as also W1AW was on. And we'll probably get on 40 and 20 meters today. So I just want to briefly comment about some of the ARRL petitions. I did file a comment to them, mainly that if they're going to do some reallocation of the CW portion of 80 meters, that they should make the first 100 kilohertz from 3500 to 3600 CW only. And then they can put any other digital or RIDI modes from 3600 to 3650. That way we can have a lot cleaner band for a lot of CW operations and contests down there on 80. I'm not too much of an awards person, so I'm not going to comment that, but I do feel that there should be some bar to reach for operating privileges. So, that's it for me. Good signals from everyone. And we'll throw it to Rick, WC2K, to pick it up. This is W1ZB.
Okay, W1ZB, Jerry, and the carrier net. This is Whiskey Charlie 2 Kilo, WC2K. I'll say good morning to all. Name is Rick, R-I-C-K, located in Tabernacle, Southern New Jersey, not too far from K2FW. And I'm kind of on short time here, but I wanted to clarify for those who don't know that the ARRL proposal for technician enhancement, as they call it, technician enhancement, has been assigned a number, RM11828, and is open for comments to the FCC, so it's moving along. Specifically, it proposes to give phone privileges to technicians, existing technician class licensees in the 3.9 to 4.0 megahertz 80 meter band, 7.225 to 7.300 on 40, and 21.350 to 21.450 on 15 meters. That's part one of the proposal. Phone privileges to techs in the upper portions of those three bands. The second part is to give the techs RIDI and digital privileges in the current, what's within the current technician allocations on 80, 40, and 15 meters. Now, technicians already have phone privileges on 10 meters. They have for some time. So that's, it's not the first time that techs will have phone privileges on HF. So that's the deal. Apparently, according to the ARRL,
technician licensees represent half of the amateur population in the United States. Another interesting statistic. And personally, I am opposed to this proposal based on it will delete any incentive for text to learn. I think the situation in today's technical world of ham radio is that learning is not as easy as it was for many of us who have been licensed for 25 or 30 or 40 or 50 years. The construction technology of modern transceivers is not conducive to modifications and repair, or even understanding by some of these guys, some of the entry-level amateurs. Antennas are pre-packaged, bubble-wrapped in plastic, hanging on a pegboard at the local ham radio store. Well, I think we can't stop that. That's all a nice convenience, but we can provide an incentive still in operating at least. And I think there needs to be incentive licensing needs to remain in effect. So WC2K says thumbs down to this proposal, and my comments have been filed. Anyway, great turnout this morning. Great to hear everyone. I'm going to turn it over to John in New York, KC2FXE. This is WC2K saying 73. I'll listen for a while, and I've got to leave also in about 5 minutes. Over to you, John.
Oh, good morning, all. Let me just check my tuning real quick here, so I didn't want to dump a carrier on everybody. This far down the band. Okay, there we go. Good morning, all. Yeah, I know it's been a while, Joe. And good morning, all. Steve. And all. Yep, we're in New York. We're located in Catskill, New York. We're running the home brew here this morning. The 813s by Triad Connected 813s. And listening to you on my R390 with a little SDR on the side for a little display. And very good all around. Say good morning to you, Andy. I hear you down there in Long Island. Doing good up here in the Catskills. Everybody else is. Oh, that's interesting information there. I wasn't aware of that. I haven't been keeping up to the local news and everything on the URL, but proposing stuff like that, I don't know. I mean, I had to fight like hell to get where I am, and now they're just going to give it away. I'm not for it anyway. For that, I like the licensing, incentive licensing. Learn, they got to learn before they get given the frequency them frequencies. Especially that end of the band. I mean, that's going to, 40 meters, that's going to tear right up into where we hang out in the AM portion there. 70, 72, 90, 95, that's generally where I work. Anyway, very good all around. Yeah, it's almost 9 o'clock. I know. I got a short time here anyway. I haven't been around in a while. It's just been, Sundays I end up being busy with one thing or another. With my projects and stuff like that, but catch up. I am, let's see, it's probably the last time I've been on. It was probably, 4 years ago, 5 years ago, maybe a little longer. I can't remember. That's back when Dick used to run the net. Yeah, I was up early this morning trying to give contacts for the QSO party, and I happened to hear Al in here holding court. I thought I'd check in this morning and say hello. Everything's doing fine here. Just, a little bit older, I guess, as everybody else gets. But anyway, I'm just rumbling on here. Good morning to all. Everybody's sounding very good here. I'll try to remember to get up and get in here a little more often on Sundays. I'm not as radioactive as I used to be, I got other things. I've got this automotive project that I've been working on. It's actually my truck that I've been working on for the last couple of years, so a lot of my attention is going to that. So it's a little project I've been working on for the last 3 years. Hopefully to get that thing done this year, get her on the road. Anyway, I guess this goes over to MER. The name's blank, but I'll send it over your way. W2MER to take this thing. I'll say good morning, Joe. Thanks for letting me in here, and we'll try to get in here more often. This is KC2FXE, Catskill, New York.
Yeah, very good. Thank you, John. KC2FXE in the group. This is WA2MER. Very, very good. I think you and I have been on the AWA PM/AM net together on occasion. That's kind of where your call comes from. But in any event, very good morning to everybody. Good signals all around. Easy copy to everyone, which is a good thing. And for those who are new to the net, and I welcome Mark and Rick in Tabernacle and Mark up in Darien Center. My name is Jim, Juliet India Mike. I'm located in Vernon, New Jersey, up in Sussex County, northwestern part of the state. So, running the Millen exciter and modulator into the Drake L7 this morning, running about 200 watts, and the receiver is SX28. So we're doing good. I have my voice is a little off this morning. Our friends give an annual Mardi Gras party. We were at it last night, and they have live music there in their house, and it's shouting over that, and I kind of sound like I did years ago when I would smoke a pack of cigarettes at a bar in one evening. So, but anyway, that's the deal here. Radio front, I'm still amassing parts. I put in another order for Mouser for my AM transmitter build, my 4-250 transmitter. It's coming along slowly but steadily. And yesterday, I decided to pull the carburetor off my 64 Buick. John, I don't know what you got for a truck, but it's probably a vintage. We'll have to talk sometime. But my carburetor was vomiting fuel out of the carburetor vent, so I suspected a dirty needle seat, float seat, and I took everything apart. Everything looked fine, so I'm kind of at a loss. I'm going to start it up again today and see. I haven't started it since I pulled the carb apart and made sure everything was okay, so I'll take care of that. And Bruce, very exciting on the rocket launch. I would have loved to have seen that, so I'm glad you had an opportunity to do that on your trip. Two of my favorite things are noise and speed, and when you put them together, I'm in ecstasy, and that goes for target shooting at the range, motorcycling, and so on. Noise and speed, I love them. So anyway, I'll say 73. I'm one and done, but I'll listen out, Joe, until it gets back up to you. So everybody have a great week, and I guess it goes to Greg, KE1MI. This is WA2MER.
Yeah, W2MER and the AM carrier net, KE1MI. Good morning, everybody. Hi, atop Braintree Hill. We have, I don't know, last I looked it was 20-something degrees, 25, 26 degrees, overcast. And I guess that's what we are to expect today. Maybe up around the 30s today, which should be pretty nice. Yeah, I saw the email. I've already commented on the whole incentive license for putting technicians up there. You throw more of them up there, that'll make the upper end of 75 meters absolutely suck, especially if they all get on. I realize a lot of techs aren't even going to bother, and most of them get technician license so they can walk around with 2 meter CB, but I'm thinking if a lot of them guys get on HF, then that's going to crowd that up even more. The other thing is to just keep dumbing the hobby down. Why don't they just go ahead and bag all the license classes, and you have one license class, and that's it. And you can go anywhere you want and do any modes you want. Because they're out there going. And hence another reason why I'm not a member of the league. I've been against their crap for years, and they keep coming up with this stuff. And once the CW went out, that really, I think, was the death knell of that. But you go ahead and you're already a technician. You already took one exam. You can't take a second exam for another 25 questions. You don't have to do CW anymore, so that excuse goes out the window. You just take the test and be done with it. So, yeah, it's pretty frustrating. like I said, they keep coming up with more crap. They make it any dumber, then, like I said, the runners will not even bother. So, and as far as the digital modes, I guess the comment was about, giving up the 50 kilohertz down there from 3600, 3650. That's going to aggravate a few of the extra classes that like to hang out down there. One of the reasons why I upgraded to extra was to get that extra voice privilege down at that end of the band to escape the madness that sometimes can be on the upper end of the band. So that's just going to push those guys that hang out down there up a little further, and going to crowd more of the band again. And I don't know. Everybody's into all this digital stuff today. I've tried FT8 and JT65, and they're fun. But the fun went out after a couple hours. I haven't been on for a long time on that. Since I got the 7300, it has built-in sound cards, so I got a chance to try that mode. But that's about all I'm going to do with it. I'm certainly not going to, make it a full-time thing. I mean, it's boring. It's just 5.9 goodbye. It's almost worse than a contest. So there you go. Good to hear everybody in here. That's all I'm going to say for that. Nothing going on the radio front here. Just playing around with what I've got and hanging out on AM, enjoying that. I'm thinking about getting some kind of speech processing, at least an equalizer. And I'm going to run it in the back of the 7300 and try to make the audio sound a little bit better. Maybe someday ICOM will give us a little wider bandwidth firmware update for this thing. They would triple the sales then, because most of the AMers would love this if you could widen out the transmit bandwidth on this and not be so constricted on that. So this will be a great exciter for the amplifier if it had better AM. So it's not horrible, but it isn't the greatest. There you go. Other than that's a great radio. There's my plug to the 7300. I love the receiver on it. 73, everybody. Have a great one. I'm going to do one joke because it is so many people here, and you got to get out of here. So I'm going to turn it down to Bill. KD1SH, AM carrier net, KE1MI. Over.
Okay, Greg, very good. Thank you very much. And your 7300 does sound fine. That is an excellent little radio. Love those little rigs. Good morning, everyone on the AM carrier net from KD1SH up here in the quiet corner of Connecticut, the little town of Ashford. And here is Bill running the Ranger, original Ranger, Ranger 1, and into a SB221 amp for about 200. Bob, GTH, I'm sorry that I missed you up at Marlboro. I was there. Unfortunately, I did not have a name tag on. I have a name tag. My wife gave me one. My wife has actually given me two of them. And I always forget to pin them to my sweater while I'm up there. But the giveaway for me is always the bright orange shirt and the bright orange sweater. Just in case the bright orange sweater is not enough. The bright orange shirt underneath. So my wife is selling all the little crochet items. You might have seen her up there, set up at her table there. She was selling the little crocheted water bottle holders and the little headbands and the little chapstick tube holders there. So I was there anyway, and saw a few good rigs. There wasn't a whole lot of boat anchor stuff up there, but there was a guy up there that had a whole table full of Central Electronics gear, and the Central Electronics 20A that the guy had up there. Very nice looking piece of equipment, very well taken care of, and really tempted. And I thought the price was excellent. And I don't know. I kept looking at it, and I just eventually walked away from it. Maybe I have a few regrets now. I think the thing is there, I'm more into plate modulated AM, and I guess I didn't really want to broaden my horizon since of the phasing thing and all that. But I have a tremendous admiration for the Central Electronics gear. They were really and truly ahead of their time technologically, and very impressive equipment. So I missed out on a nice Collins 32V2. That one came off the hand truck as the guys wheeled it in, and was sold moments later. And I missed that one by minutes, and it was a nice looking 32V2. So there you go. Be fast or be last. Learn about being in the right time at the right place. Chicopee is coming up in another few weeks, 3 weeks, I think, March 7th. That's the Mount Tom Radio Club's flea market up in Chicopee, Mass. And that's usually a pretty good one, too. So I will be there. Looking forward to that. And as far as the league proposal at this point, I haven't looked it over closely. I don't really have a whole lot of comment on it, other than I think we have to put this sort of thing in context with the fact that we live in an age when a lot of public school systems are thinking about doing away with the grading system entirely, so as not to make the underperforming students feel bad. So there we go. I think those two go hand in hand. It's a sign of the times. So, and Jim, you said noise and speed. I was never into the performance car thing or anything like that, but going back 25 years ago or so, I had an offshore speedboat. I had a Scarab with a total of 800 horse and 80-mile-an-hour boat, and used to go ripping up and down Long Island Sound with that. So I can appreciate the noise and speed thing. And yeah, I would love to see any kind of a rocket launch at some time. And when my wife and I have more time on our hands, when we're retired, I might just look at the schedule and make a trip down to Wallops Island sometime and watch one of those launches. My wife would probably sit in the car because she's not particularly fond of things that shake the air around you and make a lot of noise. And I think she'd be sitting in the car with her fingers in her ears. But I've always enjoyed air shows. I always like to watch the fighter aircraft take off and do their flybys and feel the air moving. It's an experience. Anyway, I will be doing a little bit of work in the AWA AM QSO party later on today, so I'll put in an appearance there. And that's it for me. Joe, I will not be doing a second round. I'm going to be making breakfast. I'm not sure if my wife is even out of bed. We had a long day yesterday going up to Marlboro, but as soon as she's done making her breakfast, I'm going to make mine. So I will be in here listening probably, but I think that's it for me. So no round two for me. 7-3 and good morning to everyone on the AM Carrier Net, and I turn it over to Jim, W1JJA down in Walcott. Good morning from KD1SH.
KD1SH, W1JJA, and everybody else. I'm new to the net here. I just haven't been on here before. Actually, I'm mostly on sideband, but I figured this morning I'd turn the rig onto AM and see how it's operating. So if I'm not perfect here, it's because I'm still trying to feel how this should be set up for AM. What we're running here is we're running a Flex 6600M into a Meritron solid-state 1306 amplifier, and that all goes into a double bazooka antenna for 75 meters. So nothing really fancy, but figured we'd be daring this morning and try it on AM. So I'm not going to hold it here too long because we have to get moving here this morning. But I figured I'd just drop in and say hello. So I don't know who's going to pick it up next, but I won't be around for a second go-around. But probably next week I'll have a little bit more time to spend and get on a little bit earlier. So thanks, everyone, and being so kind and cordial on the net, and we'll be back probably next week. But we'll listen out here for a couple more before I have to take off. This is W1JJA, Jim in Wolcott, Connecticut. Go ahead.
Yeah, okay, Jim, very good. W1JJA. Very good. This is N1VIV AM Carrier. Well, excellent. Very good on the flex and the amplifier. It's doing a very nice job down here. We've got, not much distance between us and very good conditions. But, boy, you're a good 20, 25 over 9. Certainly doing a very nice job. I'm just curious, what are you using for a microphone there?
We're using an electric condenser mic. I have a DBX module here for trying to keep it contained and not have too much voice excursions on it. But it's a Marshall electric condenser mic. Go ahead.
Yeah, okay, very good. Well, it's doing a very nice job, and it sounds very good. You've got good AM going there, from at least my opinion. So good for you, and welcome. It's really nice to have you join us this morning, and I encourage you to come by and check in as often as you can. We're here every Sunday morning here at 8 a.m. local time here on 3835. So very good, Jim. Sounding quite nice here. Appreciate that. Check in. So let's give a listen. Any other check-ins, anyone else wishing to check into the net, please call now. This is N1VIV. Well, nothing else heard there, so looks like, we've got some time for some version of a round two. And certainly with 19, or I guess almost 20 check-ins, certainly a very busy net this morning for sure. So let's see, I guess I did take a chance, take a minute just to look at the technician enhancement proposal. I'm not sure if I'm looking, it was on the ERRL website, it said something about 2018, so I don't know if that's an older proposal or if there's a new one. I'll have to search around a little bit, but I guess in general my comment would be that if you can, kind of along the lines of what other people had shared, if you can pass one exam, there's no reason why being able to pass a second exam should be a barrier to higher privileges. I don't think the content on the general class exam was all that complex. I suppose you could kind of offer some narrow exceptions for folks who might have some type of intellectual limitations and things of that nature, tutoring, extra support, something. I would want to keep an open mind to that type of thing. But for the most part, I think I found I came in as a Tech Plus, but really used it as a novice entry, operating just CW. I guess I was a little against dropping the CW requirement. I think if you kept at least 5 words a minute, that would give people a flavor. Although I know lots of people who entered, I believe, with no CW requirement and went on to being very active on CW. So, I guess there's always two sides to the argument, but in general, I would say I would resist the league's interest in kind of lowering the standards. I don't think passing that second exam is that great of a challenge, and there's no CW requirements, so I don't think that there's a legitimate barrier to the majority of folks getting into general class. That's my thought about it. So, I'm not hearing any additional check-ins. I've tried to make pretty reasonable notes on who's staying and going, for those who at least mentioned it. So, but I can do control here for the next 15 minutes or so, maybe 20, and see if there's comments for round two. I'll give one more listen just in case. Any other check-ins for the net, please call now. Okay, nothing heard. So I know that Stu, W2AO, had to run, and Mark out there near Buffalo. Goodness gracious, we were able to just barely hear him, but I think others a little further west of me were hearing him a little bit better. So let's see if Bruce is still there. WX10 for round two if you're there, Bruce. N1VIV. Okay, nothing heard there from Bruce. Let's see if Don may still be in the mix from Virginia if he's hearing us. KD2FO. If you're there, Don, go ahead and take it.